One man changed the way the world uses phones, computers, and even music. His name was Steve Jobs, the creative mind and visionary behind Apple. He was not just a businessman, he was an artist who used technology as his canvas. Steve believed that technology should not only work well, but also feel beautiful and simple. But Steve's life was not perfect or easy. He faced rejection, criticism, and even got fired from his own company. Still, he never gave up. What made him special was his belief that he could shape the future through innovation and creativity. He trusted his instincts more than the opinions of others. Steve Jobs was a man of passion, someone who chased excellence, not comfort. He believed that true success comes when you love what you do and never settle for good enough. His story is a reminder that ordinary people can do extraordinary things when they have courage, focus, and faith in their ideas. This is not just the story of a company called Apple. It is the story of a man who dared to think different and in doing so, changed the world forever. Chapter 1. Early Life and Struggles. Steve Jobs was born in 1955 in San Francisco, but right after birth, he was given up for adoption. He was raised by a simple and loving couple, Paul and Clara Jobs, who gave him all the care and encouragement he needed. Paul, his adoptive father, was a mechanic, and young Steve would spend hours with him in the garage, taking apart machines and learning how things worked. This early curiosity became the seed of his love for technology and design. In school, Steve was not an ordinary student. He was smart, but also rebellious. He didn't like rules and always questioned everything. He wanted to understand why things were the way they were. That questioning attitude made him different from others. He was not satisfied with just following the crowd. He wanted to create something new. Later, Steve joined Reed College, but he soon dropped out. It wasn't because he was lazy. It was because he didn't want to waste time studying subjects that didn't inspire him. He used that time to learn things he truly loved, like calligraphy, design, and creative thinking. That calligraphy class later inspired the beautiful fonts and design of the first Macintosh computer. Steve often said, "You can't connect the dots looking forward. You can only connect them looking backward." At that time, he didn't know how his experiences would help him in the future, but they all came together perfectly when he started Apple. His early struggles, confusion, and curiosity became his biggest teachers. They taught him that real success is not about following a straight path. It's about trusting your journey, learning from every experience, and never being afraid to take a different road. Chapter 2. The Birth of Apple. In the mid-1970s, Steve Jobs met a brilliant engineer named Steve Wozniak, also known as Woz. Both were young, passionate, and obsessed with technology. Wozniak loved building computers for fun, while Jobs had the vision to turn those ideas into products that could change the world. Together, they started working in a small garage at Jobs' family home in Los Altos, California. This garage would later become one of the most famous places in business history. In 1976, they officially founded Apple Computer. Their first product, the Apple I, was built completely by hand. Woz handled the technical side, while Jobs focused on design, presentation, and how to make it appealing to people. Jobs was not just thinking about computers, he was thinking about how technology could fit into everyday life. Soon, they created the Apple II, which became one of the first successful personal computers in the world. It changed everything. Suddenly, computers were not just for big companies or labs, but for homes, schools, and individuals. What made Jobs different was his obsession with perfection. He didn't want his products to just work well, he wanted them to look beautiful, feel elegant, and make people smile when they used them. He believed design was not just about how it looked, but how it felt to the user. He pushed everyone around him to give their best, sometimes very hard, sometimes uncomfortably so, but his goal was always clear: to create something truly extraordinary. Jobs once said, "We're here to put a dent in the universe." And that's exactly what the birth of Apple did. From a small garage, two friends with a dream built a company that would go on to revolutionize the world of technology forever. Chapter 3: The Fall. Getting fired from Apple. Success had made Steve Jobs famous, but it had also made him difficult. As Apple grew, so did Jobs' ego and perfectionism. He wanted every product, every idea, and every detail to be exactly how he imagined it. While this made Apple's products incredible, it also created conflict inside the company. Jobs was young, emotional, and often impatient. He clashed with other executives and even the board of directors. He believed in his vision so strongly that he refused to compromise. But business doesn't always work only with passion. It also needs teamwork, management, and patience. In 1985, after a series of disagreements about the company's direction, Steve Jobs was fired from Apple, the very company he had started. It was one of the most painful moments of his life. Imagine being thrown out of the house you built with your own hands. That's exactly how Jobs felt: angry, heartbroken, and lost. But instead of giving up, he decided to start over. Later, he said, "Getting fired from Apple was the best thing that could have ever happened to me." During this period, he founded a new company called Next, which focused on advanced computers for education and businesses. He also bought a small animation studio from George Lucas, which later became Pixar. Yes, the same Pixar that created Toy Story, Finding Nemo, and The Incredibles. This phase taught Jobs something he had never learned before: humility, patience, and the power of second chances. He realized that failure isn't the end, it's often the beginning of something greater. When most people would have quit, Steve Jobs rebuilt himself from the ground up. His time away from Apple became his training ground, where he learned to balance creativity with leadership and passion with maturity. He didn't know it yet, but this painful fall was preparing him for the greatest comeback in business history. Chapter 4: The Comeback. After being thrown out of Apple, most people thought Steve Jobs was finished, but he was just getting started. His fall became his fuel. He used that time to rebuild himself, smarter, calmer, and more focused. First, he started a new company called Next. The goal was simple: to create powerful computers for universities and professionals. The products were advanced, maybe even too advanced for that time, but Next became a laboratory of innovation. Many of the ideas and designs from Next would later help shape the future of Apple. At the same time, Jobs took another bold step. He bought a small, unknown animation company from filmmaker George Lucas. That tiny studio was called Pixar. No one believed in it back then. Computer animation was too expensive and new, but Jobs had vision. He believed technology and storytelling could come together to create magic. Years later, Pixar released its first movie, Toy Story, the world's first fully computer-animated film. The movie became a massive success and changed the film industry forever. Pixar went on to make more hits like Finding Nemo, The Incredibles, and Monsters, Inc. With Pixar, Jobs proved that creativity and technology together could create art that touches hearts. But destiny had one more surprise for him. In 1996, Apple, the same company that had fired him, was struggling badly. Its products were failing, and it was losing direction. To survive, Apple decided to buy Next for its advanced technology. And that's how Steve Jobs returned to Apple, not as an employee, but as the CEO. This was his comeback moment, like a hero returning home, wiser and stronger. Jobs brought with him everything he had learned from failure, from Next, and from Pixar. He focused Apple again on what he always believed in: simplicity, beauty, and user experience. He once said, "You can't connect the dots looking forward. You can only connect them looking backward." Looking back, every failure, every loss, every struggle had prepared him for this return. Steve Jobs had fallen from the top, but now he was back, ready to change the world once again. Chapter 5: Innovation and Simplicity. Steve Jobs believed that simplicity is the ultimate sophistication. For him, innovation was not about adding more, it was about removing the unnecessary. He always said, "Simple can be harder than complex. You have to work hard to get your thinking clean to make it simple." When Jobs returned to Apple, the company was making too many confusing products. He cut down almost everything and focused on just a few, but made them perfect. His idea was clear: create products that even a child or an elder could use easily, without reading a manual. That's how the world saw the birth of the iPod in 2001, a small device that could hold 1,000 songs in your pocket. Before the iPod, music players were bulky and complicated, but Jobs and his team made it simple, stylish, and smooth. It changed how the world listened to music and how we carried our memories. Then came the iPhone in 2007. Jobs introduced it with pride, saying, "Today, Apple is going to reinvent the phone." And he was right. No buttons, no messy menus, just a clean screen you could touch. The iPhone wasn't just a phone. It was a camera, a music player, a web browser, all in one. It started a new era of smartphones and changed communication forever. Later, in 2010, Jobs did it again with the iPad, a device between a phone and a computer. People didn't even know they needed it until they saw it. That was Jobs' magic. He gave people what they didn't know they wanted. Behind every product, his rule was the same: focus on user experience first, technology second. He obsessed over every small detail: the shape of the icons, the smoothness of the screen, even the sound the laptop made when it closed. For him, design was not just how something looked, it was how it worked. Jobs believed that innovation didn't come from committees or big marketing plans. It came from deep care and clear vision. He combined art with technology in a way no one else could. Because for Steve Jobs, technology was not about machines. It was about making life better, simpler, and more human. Chapter 6: The Power of Vision. Steve Jobs was not just a businessman. He was a visionary. He could see the future before anyone else did. While most people focused on what was possible today, Jobs imagined what could be possible tomorrow. He never just wanted to make computers or phones. He wanted to change the way people lived, worked, and connected. His goal was not to sell products, it was to create experiences. He often said, "People don't know what they want until you show it to them." That one sentence explains his entire approach. Jobs didn't wait for customers to tell him what to build. He trusted his instinct, his creativity, and his sense of design. When he introduced the first iPhone, people didn't even realize they needed such a device. But after they used it, they couldn't imagine life without it. That's what true vision does. It transforms needs people didn't even know they had. His vision also changed entire industries, not just one. Computers became personal, beautiful, and easy to use through iTunes and the iPod. Phones became smart, sleek, and essential for daily life. Even animation was redefined through Pixar, giving the world movies like Toy Story and Finding Nemo. Jobs had an extraordinary ability to connect technology with emotion. He understood that people don't just buy a product, they buy a feeling. Every Apple product made users feel special, creative, and connected. That emotional touch was his greatest strength. He also believed deeply in clarity and focus. He said, "Innovation is saying no to 1,000 things." To bring his vision to life, he removed all distractions and focused only on what truly mattered. Every detail, from the design of the Apple Store to the packaging of an iPhone, had to express his vision of elegance and simplicity. Jobs' vision inspired millions of entrepreneurs, artists, and dreamers across the world. He proved that you don't need to follow trends, you can create them. He believed that technology should serve humanity, not the other way around. In the end, Steve Jobs showed that vision is not about seeing with your eyes, it's about seeing with your mind and heart. Because when you believe in your vision completely, the world eventually starts to see it too.
Chapter 7. Leadership Style. Steve Jobs was not an easy leader to work with, but he was a leader people never forgot. He was tough, demanding, and brutally honest, yet his drive for excellence brought out the best in others. Jobs didn't believe in comfort zones. He believed in pushing people beyond what they thought was possible. He had very high standards for everything, from the tiniest design detail to the biggest product launch. If something wasn't perfect, he would reject it instantly, no matter how much time or effort had gone into it. Many people found him harsh and arrogant, but his goal was never to insult, it was to inspire greatness. Jobs had what people called a reality distortion field. This term came from his team at Apple. It described his strange ability to make others believe the impossible could be done. When engineers said something couldn't be built, Jobs would look at them and say, "You can do it." He said it with such conviction that they started believing it too. And surprisingly, most of the time, they did achieve it. He had an extraordinary belief in human potential. He knew that people often limit themselves with fear and doubt. Jobs destroyed those limits by challenging his team again and again. He demanded excellence because he believed the world deserved nothing less. But his leadership was not just about pressure, it was also about vision and inspiration. He could see beauty in technology, meaning in design, and emotion in user experience. He inspired his team to think differently, to care deeply, and to create products that would truly make a difference. Jobs didn't lead by rules, he led by belief. He once said, "The people who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones who do." That line became the foundation of Apple's culture. He made his team feel that they were not just building products, they were changing the world. Of course, his leadership style wasn't perfect. Some employees felt exhausted or frustrated. He could be unpredictable, emotional, and even intimidating. But even those who clashed with him admitted one thing: they did their best work under his leadership. Steve Jobs' leadership teaches us that greatness doesn't come from being nice all the time. It comes from having unshakable belief, clear vision, and the courage to demand the best. He showed that leadership isn't about pleasing everyone, it's about bringing out the brilliance that people didn't know they had.
Chapter 8. Failure, Perfection, and Creativity. Steve Jobs was never afraid of failure. In fact, he believed that failure was the best teacher. Every time he failed, he learned, adapted, and came back stronger. When he was fired from Apple, it was a huge public failure. But instead of giving up, he used that time to explore new ideas, start next, and build Pixar. Later, he said, "Getting fired from Apple was the best thing that could have ever happened to me. It gave him freedom to think creatively again. Jobs always told people, "Stay hungry, stay foolish." This quote became his life philosophy. Stay hungry means never stop learning, never feel satisfied, always look for the next challenge. Stay foolish means don't be afraid to take risks or look silly while trying something new. According to him, the ones who try crazy ideas are the ones who make history. He also had a deep obsession with perfection. For Jobs, good was never enough. He wanted everything, from the hardware to the packaging, to feel perfect. He once made his team redesign a circuit board that no one would ever see just because it didn't look beautiful. When asked why, he said, "If you're a true artist, you care about the details, even when no one is watching." Jobs believed that creativity comes from connecting different things: technology, art, design, and emotion. He didn't just want Apple to build products. He wanted them to create experiences that touched people's hearts. He said, "Technology alone is not enough. It's technology married with liberal arts, married with the humanities, that makes our hearts sing." He mixed logic with emotion, science with creativity, and innovation with beauty. That's why Apple products didn't just work well, they felt special. The smooth design, the simplicity, the little sound when you start a Mac. Everything had a story behind it. Jobs often reminded his team that mistakes are part of the creative process. He said, "Sometimes when you innovate, you make mistakes. It is best to admit them quickly and get on with improving your other innovations." This mindset made Apple a company that constantly evolved, never stuck to old success. In short, Steve Jobs' life showed that failure isn't the opposite of success. It's part of it. He taught the world that perfection is not about being flawless, but about never giving up on improvement. And creativity is not a talent, it's a mindset, a way of seeing the world differently. His journey reminds us, if you want to do something truly great, be brave enough to fail, curious enough to learn, and passionate enough to keep creating, no matter what. Chapter 9: Health, Mortality, and Legacy. In the last years of his life, Steve Jobs faced one of the biggest battles, his fight with cancer. In 2003, he was diagnosed with a rare type of pancreatic cancer. At first, he refused surgery and tried natural treatments. But later, when his health worsened, he realized the importance of modern medicine. This period of illness changed the way he looked at life and success. Jobs once said in his famous Stanford speech, "Remembering that you are going to die is the best way I know to avoid the trap of thinking you have something to lose." Facing death made him deeply reflective. He began to value simplicity, time, and purpose more than ever. He understood that money and fame meant nothing if life itself was slipping away. Even when he was sick, Jobs never stopped working. He kept designing, planning, and innovating. The iPhone, the iPad, and the sleek Apple stores, many of these were built during his toughest health battles. His colleagues often said that his body became weaker, but his vision became stronger. He once told his biographer, Walter Isaacson, "I want to put a ding in the universe." That one sentence described his entire life. Jobs didn't want to live an average life. He wanted to create something that outlives him, something that makes people's lives better. Through his sickness, he also discovered the beauty of simplicity, not just in design, but in living. He started appreciating the small things, spending time with his family, walking barefoot in the garden, and just being present. He realized that success is not just about building companies, it's also about building a meaningful life. Jobs once said, "Your time is limited, so don't waste it living someone else's life." This became one of his most powerful lessons to the world. He wanted people to follow their own passion, not just society's expectations. To him, death was not something to fear, but a reminder to live with urgency and honesty. When he passed away in 2011, the whole world mourned. Millions of people lit candles, shared stories, and thanked him for changing the way they communicate, listen to music, and connect with the world. But his biggest gift wasn't just the iPhone or the Mac. It was his mindset. Steve Jobs left behind a legacy that says, "Live with purpose, create with passion, don't fear failure, and remember that time is your most precious resource." Even though he's gone, his vision continues to inspire millions. Every Apple product, every design choice, and every young dreamer who believes in innovation carries a part of Steve Jobs' spirit. In the end, his life reminds us that true success is not about how long you live, but how deeply you live and what you leave behind for others.
Chapter 10. Life Lessons from Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs didn't just build products, he built a philosophy for living. His entire journey, from a college dropout to one of the greatest innovators in history, teaches powerful lessons for anyone who wants to live with passion and purpose. 1. Follow your curiosity, not just money. Jobs never chased money. He chased curiosity and creativity. When he dropped out of college, he still attended the classes he loved, like calligraphy, just because they interested him. Years later, that same class inspired the beautiful fonts on the first Macintosh computer. He once said, "You can't connect the dots looking forward. You can only connect them looking backward." So don't just chase what looks profitable. Follow what excites your heart. That's where your true value lies. 2. Don't fear failure. Steve Jobs faced rejection, criticism, and even got fired from his own company, Apple. But he never gave up. Instead, he used failure as a lesson to grow. He said, "Sometimes life hits you in the head with a brick. Don't lose faith." Failure didn't destroy him, it made him stronger. When life pushes you down, remember, it's only teaching you to bounce back higher. 3. Keep your standards high. Jobs was known for being a perfectionist. He believed that excellence wasn't a choice, it was a habit. Whether it was the design of an iPhone or the packaging of a MacBook, he wanted every detail to be perfect. He said, "Be a yardstick of quality." Some people aren't used to an environment where excellence is expected. So, whatever you do, big or small, give your best. Quality work always stands out. 4. Think differently. Apple's slogan, "Think different," wasn't just a marketing line. It was Jobs' entire mindset. He always believed that innovation comes when you see the world differently, when you're not afraid to challenge rules or question how things are done. He once said, "The people who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones who do." So don't blend in. Be bold, take risks, and dare to think beyond what's normal. 5. Simplicity is the ultimate sophistication. Jobs taught that simplicity is not about doing less, it's about doing what truly matters. He removed unnecessary buttons, menus, and designs to make technology beautiful and easy for everyone. He said, "Simple can be harder than complex.
You have to work hard to get your thinking clean, to make it simple. In life too, simplicity brings clarity. Remove clutter from your work, your goals, and even your thoughts. That's how real innovation and peace begin. Steve Jobs' life reminds us that success isn't about luck or shortcuts. It's about clarity, focus, and belief in your vision, even when others doubt you. He lived with passion, worked with purpose, and left the world better than he found it. And maybe that's the greatest lesson of all, to live in a way that your work continues to inspire people long after you're gone.
When we look at Steve Jobs' entire journey, from a curious kid who loved tinkering with gadgets to the man who changed technology forever, we can see that his success wasn't just about business or luck. It was about focus, passion, and belief. Focus plus passion equals greatness. Jobs had one powerful quality: intense focus. When he worked on something, he gave it his full attention. No distractions, no shortcuts. He combined this focus with deep passion, a love for creating things that made people's lives better. He believed that when you love what you do, work doesn't feel like pressure, it feels like purpose. That's how ordinary people achieve extraordinary success. Design and innovation together create magic. Steve Jobs understood something very few people do. Technology alone isn't enough. You need creativity, design, and emotion to make something truly special. He once said, "Design is not just what it looks like and feels like. Design is how it works." That's why every Apple product, from iPod to iPhone, felt magical. It wasn't just a gadget, it was an experience. Believe in your vision even when others don't. Jobs faced many moments when people laughed at his ideas: touchscreen phones, digital music players, and minimalist computers. But he didn't stop. He trusted his vision completely. He knew that leaders see what others can't. If you have a dream, protect it. Even if others doubt you, keep going, because your belief is what turns imagination into reality. Stay curious, stay creative, and stay humble. Even after reaching massive success, Jobs never stopped learning or exploring. He remained curious like a beginner, always hungry to discover more. He said, "Stay hungry, stay foolish." That means never think you know it all. Keep your mind open, keep experimenting, keep growing. In the end, Steve Jobs taught the world that success is not about being the smartest person in the room. It's about being the most passionate, curious, and focused. If you combine heart with hard work, creativity with discipline, and vision with patience, you too can create something that changes the world. Steve Jobs once said something that became one of the most powerful life lessons for all of us. Your time is limited, so don't waste it living someone else's life. These words carry deep truth. Jobs believed that most people live trying to impress others, following society's path, doing what everyone expects. But he chose a different road. He trusted his own vision, followed his own heart, and changed the way the entire world connects, listens, and dreams. From a small garage in California to building Apple, one of the most valuable companies in the world, Steve Jobs' journey is a living example that greatness begins when you dare to think different. He didn't chase money, he chased meaning. He didn't follow trends, he created them. He didn't fear failure, he used it as fuel. Even during his final years, when he battled illness, Jobs continued to focus on creating beauty through technology. His life teaches us that success is not about how long you live. It's about how deeply you live and how boldly you create. So remember, you don't need to be a genius to make a difference. You just need courage, focus, and the belief that you can bring change. Think different and you'll change the world. Let this be your reminder.
Follow your passion, trust your ideas, and never stop creating. Because the world doesn't just need more followers, it needs more dreamers like Steve Jobs.